Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from. We have more updates out of the war between Israel and Iran as it rages following a massive U.S. strike ordered by President Donald Trump and carried out by 7 B-2 stealth bombers and 14 30,000-pound bunker busters across 3 sites in Iran. It appears we are entering a new phase of the war. A lot of things are going on, and that includes renewed and intense waves of strikes across Iran. We've got some insane footage to share, as well as some updates on the status of the regime. It appears the Iranian regime is nearing the brink of absolute and total collapse as chaos sweeps across the country. Before we get into all of that and much more, please make sure to like and subscribe. Costs you guys nothing and is absolutely huge for the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. I'm trying to respond to as many comments as I can. I want to hear your thoughts on the war and the action the U.S. took. And make sure to hit that bell, turn on the notifications, hit get all notifications. You won't miss a thing. You'll be the most up-to-date people on YouTube. Now, let's get into it. As we all know, the United States carried out its massive strike early Sunday morning local time in Iran. It was late afternoon, about 5 p.m. Eastern, whether you want to call that late afternoon, early evening. It was about 5 p.m. Eastern here in America when the attack unfolded. Like I said, 7 B-2 stealth bombers escorted in by many other aircraft fighter jets. They had refueling tankers that were also in the region. An incredible display of military power. Those strikes hit Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Just absolute obliteration. 12 GBU-57s alone hit Fordo, which is the facility that is deep underground, about 100 meters underground, according to some reports, buried under a mountain. But those bunker busters did their job, and we're going to get into some new statements from President Donald Trump. But as that is ongoing, in the aftermath of the attack, the Iranians have threatened to kill Americans. They've threatened to attack our bases. They've threatened to activate sleeper cells. I made a video on sleeper cells on Sunday. I'm filming this one on Monday, June 23rd. I gave 3 pieces of advice of what to do, what to be on the lookout for, and hopefully there are no sleeper cells in America, but if there are, we need to be prepared to confront that threat. In the aftermath, of those strikes, Israel has now put the pedal to the metal, and they are ramping up their attacks on Iran to destabilize the regime the best they can, with the regime on its back foot. And we're going to get into just how rough a shape the regime is. We have some attack footage here, and then we have an insane video of a prison of political prisoners being freed, being bombed, the gates of the prison being blown open so that the people who have been held political prisoners by the regime can make a run to safety, try to get their freedom. Let's roll the tape right now of the attacks, the latest wave of bombings across Iran, causing devastating damage. Let's roll that right now. So what you just saw right there is the latest footage out of Iran of strikes against the Iranian regime, military targets, IRGC targets, just overwhelming force hitting them all over the country. And now we have a prison. This is a prison that holds the political prisoners of the Iranian regime, dissidents, people who disagree, people who speak out. It's a very oppressive regime. The people that would be most likely to rise up are held in this prison. And now the gates of the prison have been blown wide open and those people are free. Hopefully they're on the run. Hopefully it's just another problem the Iranian regime has to deal with. Let's watch that footage right now. So what you just saw right there was the political prison in Iran getting the gates blown, the door blown wide open so people who are in there can make a run for freedom if they can get to it, if that's something that's possible. And obviously we hope it is. This is a horrific regime that is very oppressive. Bad people are running that country. And it looks like they appear to be borderline on the brink of collapse. Why do I say that? Well, let me go ahead and throw this up on the screen for you right here. This is a report coming in that the Ayatollah Khamenei barricades himself in a bunker without electronic communications, receiving written messages from messengers. This report also backs up previous reporting that the Iranian leadership, other members of the Iranian leadership, have not even been able to get in contact with the supreme leader to ask for permission to start negotiations to stop the barrage of bombing that is going on. He is fearful that if he communicates with enough people or too many people, that Israel will pinpoint his exact location, drop a massive bomb on him and kill him, which is still, in my opinion, very much on the table. I don't think he's out of the woods yet at all. In fact, I think his government is nearing total collapse. And this also comes as there are reports that the U.S. is trying to get in contact with members of the Iranian regime to offer them safety, guaranteed safety in order to revolt. So we've got political prisoners running loose. We have members of the government who can't even reach the leader. The leader is hiding in a bunker, won't talk to people, has to receive hidden messages. That to me is a pretty good sign. Things are heading in the wrong direction. We also have an update from President Donald Trump. This comes from the president. I'm going to throw this up on the screen for you here right now. These are updates about the attack and where it is at. And some are interpreting this that he means regime change, that he might, like I said, the Iranian regime might fall. President Trump seems to be egging that on online. So I'll read bottom to top here because that's the order they came in. It says, the damage to the nuclear sites in Iran is said to be monumental. The hits were hard and accurate. Great skill was shown by our military. Thank you. It is not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? And then he said, MIGA, make Iran great again. He followed that up with monumental damage was done to all nuclear sites in Iran as shown by satellite images. Obliteration is an accurate term. The white structure shown is deeply embedded into the rock with even its roof well below the ground level and completely shielded from flame. The biggest damage took place far below ground level. Bullseye. So that is what President Donald Trump is saying about the strikes. The question now is what happens next? Let's talk about it. At this point, all eyes are on Iran to see how they will respond to having their nuclear program absolutely wiped out by President Donald Trump and the United States military. The question is, will they come out and attack U.S. bases, U.S. personnel? Will they kill Americans? If so, we all know how that story ends. That story ends with the Ayatollah in a body bag. That's just the reality of the situation. The concern is he might not care. If he thinks the regime is collapsing and he thinks his days are numbered, he might decide to launch whatever they got left and try to bring down as many people as he can with him. There's also a chance his own generals might realize the situation they're in and take care of business themselves. Because they might not be, in the sense, I can't say the S word when you unalive yourself, they might not want to go down with the ship that is the Ayatollah, the supreme leader. They might look at the situation and say, hey, look, we can take a huge payday from the Israelis or Americans, put this scumbag out of business, and then we'll take it from there. But we're not dying for this guy. Similar to what you saw in Iraq in 2003 when Saddam's military leadership pretty much ran for their lives and had no interest in dying for him. The difference here is a lot of Iran's military commanders are already dead. Israel took them out in coordinated strikes. It is a doomsday scenario for the Iranian regime. They are clinging to power by their teeth. And every day that goes by when they don't have any control over their airspace, they've lost their biggest bargaining chip, their nuclear program. Every day they lose more and more power. The people, they have less and less control. They've already lost control of communications in part of the country. They're broadcasting propaganda messages to rise up. It's a bad situation for the supreme leader. And if he's dumb enough to wage all-out war on the U.S. or activate sleeper cells, what happens next will absolutely be the end of his regime, but it might not matter because the regime might fall from within, and that's what we're now paying attention to. So I want to know your comments, though. Let me know in the comments what you think. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Again, costs you guys nothing. Huge boost to the channel. Hit the bell. Make sure all your notifications are turned on. You won't miss a video, and I'll be back whenever we have new updates.